Guys, welcome to Java JSM, and in this video we are going to talk about builder design pattern. Okay, so builder is very important design pattern also. So builder patterns say that, okay, what is the builder I'm saying? So builder patterns say that construct a complex object from a simple object using a step by step approach. So for example, you have to create one object and those object is very big, okay, maybe very complex to design those particular object because you have to go with the multiple classes and you have to set the data for that, then finally you have to create the object. In that case you can go with the builder design pattern. Basically I'm saying, okay, let's take, it's a mostly used when the object can't be created in the single step. Clear? If you want to create a object in the single line of the code or multiple in the same place line of the code, then you don't want to require this builder design pattern. But if you are creating object from the multiple places, okay, in that case definitely you require a builder design pattern. Okay, also when you are doing serializations of a complex object, that time also it's required. What is the advantage? So basically advantage of the builder design pattern is, the main advantage is it's provide a clear separations between the constructions and representations of the main object. What is the meaning of that? So it means that, I will explain you later, but just understand, like constructor representations of the object and it's doing the separation. Okay, it's provide the better control over the constructions, okay, process. It supports to change the internal representations of the object. Okay, so basically whenever we require the object, let me explain you clearly so that you can understood in the better way. For example, this is the test class I have, right? And let me create one more class called user. Let's take example of the user. So many places we are using the user, so let me take the example of user. Okay, for example, I want to create a user object. What we can do? Simply we can write user u equal to new user, user1 is created, right? Created. But I want to make my class as immutable. That is the one condition, mutable or immutables. Okay, maybe the mutables. Okay, also support singleton property, like don't create object directly. Okay, also support singleton. Okay, also support something called create object is very simple. Object is very simple. So all those conditions we have to satisfy, right? Encapsulations, okay, also support encapsulation, singleton. There's lots of the things we can do it. Okay, and the main problem, if I say the main problems of the any of the classes which creating the object is nothing but if it is multiple variables, multiple instance variables, maybe the 50, okay, or 20. So we have to create a constructor which is take the 20 parameters, and 20 parameters we have to remember what is the type. So for example, if I give here private int id, private string name, private string email, okay, email, and I want to create an object for that. So what we can do, one is like create a simple what we call create a simple object. Okay, so create a one constructors, or you can generate it here also. So maybe you can generate a constructor from the superclass or using field. Okay, so if I'm generating here one constructor and I want to create an object with the constructors, okay, and maybe I don't have a this value id. Okay, so I am able to pass only this two value. So even I have a two value, I have to pass id as a 0 or -1. Okay, otherwise I have to create one more constructor while creating an object which is going to support two field. So I have to remove this field basically, and this field also, and then we can create a constructor and we can create an object for that. This is the second things. Maybe I have to create the object with the one field only. I don't want this field. I have only this email and I want object. What we can do? Again, you have to copy it. You have to paste it. You have to remove these two parameters. Only one parameter is required. Remove these two parameters. And like that you have to create object. Just assume you have here 3 variables. So you have to create 50 constructor. Maybe the 100 variable. If you go with the government website, and government project, they are taking lots of the value, not from the one place. They will take this space value, this space value, this space value, this space value, and they will collect all those value. Then it will proceed and it will submit it. Okay, so there is lots of the object will be created. There is lots of the parameter they will give. Okay, so in that case, maybe if you create like that constructor and store the data, okay, and multiple times if you call it and if you store this, that is not a good practice. Okay, to support all those constructor and creating an object and slice the value. I'm right? Yeah. Even if you give the setter and getter method also, you can create an object and you have to set all those value. Okay, if you not set, that is possible. So the setter getter also you can achieve it, but also that is not become a something like you can't make a constructor as a private, or you can't make you can create an object for that from the outside. So that also we don't want to make it support. Okay, so in that case your whatever the setter getter you are providing, that is also fail. So what we can do, we have to come up with the builder design pattern. Okay, and builder design patterns will support each and everything, and we have to do it. But let's go and to the slide and discuss about it. So it's provide a clear separations between the constructor and representations of the object. It's provide a better control over the constructor process. It supports to change the internal representations of the object. Okay, here I will give the good example of the what we call builder design pattern. So if you see in our JDK 1.8, JDK 7, JDK some latest version also, we got lots of the builder design patterns are available in the JDK. For example, let's suppose in the core Java 8 features we have a calendar. What is calendar? So calendar is a class. You can create a calendar object like that, calendar.builder. So you can write calendar equal to new calendar.builder.set calendar type. What are the set week date, and whatever the other parameter also we have, you can set it, and after that you can make it build. Okay, your application will build, and you got one object which is calendar object. In the another example, if you see from the Java 7 local class, local is also very useful. Okay, so many places we have used. Local is basically while setting a language, while setting a script, while setting some of the other language also, it's very useful, and based on your regions or country, it will display the corresponding code. So you can also build it. Got it? If you go, the builder patterns is most useful in the context of immutable object. So whenever you want immutable object, that is very most useful features is a builder design pattern. Okay, here if you see like many mutable builders in Java, like a string builder, I hope you know about it. A string builder is very popular. Most of the cases I have personally seen when I am writing a query. For example, we are writing some query, and those query are present in multiple classes. Okay, not in even one classes, in one methods. Maybe it's a multiple classes, multiple methods will involve. In that case, definitely you have to go with the string builder, because a string builder, whenever it's required, you can put the data, append it, like that you can do. So that is very popular. Okay, a string builder for appending the query, and once query is built perfectly, you can do the operations with the query. So that is the most important features. Okay, other if I talk about mutable builders from the Java, it is stream.builder, int stream.builder, long stream.builder, double stream.builder. Those are Java 8 features. Those are coming inside the what we called in the Java 1.8 only. Those stream feature, int stream features, all those things. Okay, but let me show you some of the example, like how it will work and what is the design patterns and how we can build our class as a builder design patterns. Okay, so let me go here and I will show you the calendar example. So just create a one main methods. Okay, once you created the main method, what we can do here is we can write one calendar. Okay, calendar cal equal to new calendar. Okay, and calendar dot builder. So we got builder. Now if you see, there is lots of the parameters: equals, get equals, hash code, set field, set calendar, set date field, date instant, local, set zone, set week. So many things, guys. Okay, so many things. Week of the dates. We can set here our year, like 2019. Here you can set something like 2 or 3, or here you can set days 23, and now you can build it. Once you build, you can get one calculator object after building it. Okay, so basically, for example, I don't want to build here. Okay, I don't want to build here. So what we can do, I don't want to build here. I have only one parameters. So if you have only one parameters or two parameters, if you don't have a parameters, also you can create a object for that. That is possible. Okay, so that is the power of that one. Okay, builder design pattern. In the same way, we can also create an object and we can define it. Okay, let it be. So this is the builder design pattern, and this is the example of the builders I have shown you. Okay, but let it be write our class as a builder design patterns. Okay, how we can write a builder design patterns in our project. So let's see. So I am going to create one builder design pattern which is user class. Okay, so many places we are using the user classes. I can create a student classes or something, but that is not a generic. But user is a generic classes, and I want builder for that. Okay, so what we can do, whatever the variables I want to define inside the classes, I have to write it. So make it all variable as a private, so it will support encapsulations. Okay, and I want int id. So int user id. This is the one field. Private string name I will take. This is the second field. Private string email I will take. This is the third field. I don't want to take much more that, but you can take as many as possible. Okay, I want setter getter for that. Okay, but before going to generate a setter getter, I need one private private user constructor. Okay, and through that I will initialize our object. Okay, and then after I want setter getter, so it will not support to create an object from the outside directly. And let me generate the getter setter for that. Okay, I don't want setter, I just want the getter. So let me click getters and generate it, because I don't want to provide the access. Okay, I don't want to provide the access to set the data directly from this user class object. Okay, so for that I have only provide the getter, not setter. Correct. Also I need one toString method, so I will generate it noise. So I can click on that and just generate it. So toString is also ready. Okay, our toString is also ready. Now what we can do, now I want builder class. Okay, create one statics builder class. Okay, then what we can do, so just create one static class equal to user builder. Okay, and this is the class name I have given. So our class is ready, but make sure whatever the parameters are available in user class, corresponding you are creating one static builder class. In those class also same parameter will be available. Okay, so I have copied and I have pasted here, and it should be private. Here I want one constructor, so this constructor will be public, so that we can create object from the outside. So public user builder. Okay, so this is the user builder, right? And what I can do is I have created the object, I have created the constructor for that, and also I need setter for that also. So I can go to the source and I can generate the setter method, because I don't want getter for that, I just want setter. So I can select the setter methods and I will generate it. So setter method is generated, but make sure every setter method will return one builder, not the void. so that we can make it chain, like once we can set one value, we can set another value, we can set another value, like that. So for that we have to make each and every method, after setting a value it will return one builder again. So here we can return this, correct? Same way all the setter method will supposed to return builder object, which is this only. This should be also a builder. This is the design pattern, builder design pattern. So next here you have to return this. What will happen? Whenever you set the value, once you create the object user dot user builder dot, you can set the user ID, so it will return user builder. So in that also you can set name, in that also you can set email, because it's returning user builder. And finally, once you set all those value, we can create one build method. Create one build method. What build method will do? Okay, build method will return not user builder object, it will return user object. So here what we can do is, once the user will call, finally setting the data, and he will call the build method, we can write a build method like that, public, and here we have to return user. Okay, and method name is build. It will not take any parameters, and while returning, what we have to do, first we have to create one user object equal to new users, and whatever the object we have created, which is this current class object, this object means user builder object, we can pass from here. Okay, once we pass the object, we can return what? User object. Okay, but problem is, once you pass this user builder object to the user constructor, so user constructor have to receive it and store all those value. So we can go to this constructor, user constructor, and we can receive this value. And what is this value? User builder. Okay, so we can go to the user class which is available above, and this user is a private constructor, so we can write user builder. So our object will come with this, and then whatever the fields we have, we can initialize it. This dot user id equal to builder dot user id, right? This dot name equal to builder dot name, correct? This dot email equal to builder dot email. Got it? So what will happen? Finally the object will created with this particular constructor, and those object we can create it here, and then after we can send it back to here, and once object is created we can return user finally. Got it, guys? So this is the basically a pattern. Okay, but somebody peoples will try to call it. Let me test it once so that you can understand in the better way. So go to our client will create one main method. Inside the main method they want to create a object of the user. So what they will do, they will write user equal to new user dot user builder dot set user id. So he will set some of the user id whatever he is required. So this is the user id, and he have a user name also, so he will call set name, but he don't have a email id. Okay, so he don't have email id, so what he will do, he will say okay, that much data I have only, I don't have more than that, and he will create a user object. Okay, and finally he will print those user object also. So how he will print? User dot to a string. Okay, let me run this code, you can see the output. Okay, so if you see the output here, let me minimize it. So if you see the output here, user is user id, name is prince, and email is null. But we are able to create an object. When even if you remove this one also, no issue, you can create an object. Even if you are setting one value or two value, three value, does not matter, it will create an object for that. There is no issue in that. That is the power of builder design pattern. In the same way, if you see in the our I have shown you the calendar. Okay, calendar example. So calendar style equal to new calendar dot builder dot set. Whatever the value you want to set, you can set, otherwise you can ignore it also, no issue. For example, I want to set these parameters and I have to build it. You can build it, no issue. Okay, like that. In the same way, we have created our object also, but in our object we have given the this one only, which is user builder. So user dot, you can call the other object also, like builder method. So we can write a builder method also, no issue. Okay, this is the builder class only, I think. So let me show you. So if you see, this is the builder class. Okay, a static builder class. So in the same way also, we have created the object, like this is the new, this is the new, this is the calendar, but in our case this is the users. We have given the user builder, he have given the name called builder, so we can give a name called user builder also, no issue. He will set the field, we also set the field. After that he will build, we can also build. And that is our own builder design patterns we have created for the user class, guys. Okay, so I hope you understood. Okay, no issue in that. Okay, so there is lots of the thing, but make sure you have to focus on three things. If someone told you to create a builder design patterns, what you have to do is you have to create one class. Inside the class, whatever the parameters you have, make it private, create one private constructor, and create one builder class which is giving the object data, and you can set it here. And provide the getter method only, to string methods, and then after finally this is the statics inner classes we have created. And this is the same field we have to take, which is having a classes, and here you can create one constructor. And then after, whatever the setter method you call, makes your setter method will return user builder, which is builder object only. This is the inner class only, and every setter will return this one, this. And finally you have to create one build method, and through the build method will return user. So you have to create a user object, and in the user constructor you can pass your builder this, and finally you can return it. So it will go to the user constructor and it will create an object here. Once object is created, it will come back. So user object is created, it will return finally user object. I hope guys you understood what is the builder design pattern. Thank you so much guys. Thank